Good morning and welcome to Reflections with Rhonda Jones. And Kimberly Johnson is back in town I guess I'm back in town too. And Diana is our special guest host.
Hi, folks. Sylvia says hi.
And Sylvia. Yeah, I really do.
Wonderful.
Oh my gosh, I know. Kimberly is, she likes cats, but there are some people in her family that
Don't care for them.
don't really care for them. So you got to admire her willingness just to say, you know what, just because I like them, I'm going to.
Well, Rick's actually allergic to them, so it's a health issue. But he hates them as well. So.
We don't know if he hates them worse than
No.
he's allergic to them, but
I don't know.
that's right.
I've never tested that.
But it's okay. She admires the ones around the studio, so far that's held her at
Yeah.
bay.
We used to volunteer at the Humane Society. My daughter and I did, where they want you to go play with kittens because they want the kittens to be socialized. 'Cause a lot
Yeah.
of them are feral, and so we go spend an hour and play with kittens a couple of times a week. And it got too sad because we couldn't bring them home.
Right. What
We
a
had to-
dream
We
job.
had to stop. It was a nice volunteer experience.
Yeah.
We enjoyed it.
Absolutely. Wow. That would be a dream thing, just to be able to go and play with little kittens for a couple hours a day. But
It gets sad when you have to leave and then you come back next week and the one you like the best is gone.
it's gone for whatever reasons. We
Well,
don't know.
it was a humane society,
Okay,
so
okay,
not
okay.
a kill shelter.
Okay, good.
I
Good.
couldn't, I'm afraid I couldn't handle that, but
It's when you leave them behind,
yeah.
it's hard. Well, I want to talk about Barbara Bush a little bit. You were in the great state of Texas when she passed away,
Yes.
I guess. And the Texans, even though she was born in New York, and then, they have lived a lot of places, Connecticut, Maine, blah, 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 just on and on and on. I think they said 29 different moves, and some locations were the same. But following her husband and his career, that takes a lot, that I admire her for that too. I'm old-fashioned in some ways. I mean, I believe obviously a woman has her own thing and whatever, but especially back in those times, she was what you call, was,
I don't know, I would have called her a lady in the traditional sense of the word.
yeah, I guess so, with the pearls.
Yeah.
And I was going to say today, yeah, I wore some pearls, to kind of represent Barbara Bush. And I even had our makeup people, add me some neck wrinkles to make it more authentic.
Well, that was kind of you. Putting yourself out there like that.
I know, just really having to embarrass myself with these neck wrinkles. But it's for Barbara. And next week, if you still see him, I might
You're
still be
still in
mourning.
mourning?
I'm still in
Okay,
mourning
there
for
you go.
Barbara. But she went through an experience that early on, they say that it made her hair turn prematurely gray, was the death of her her 3-year-old from leukemia, and
That's just heartbreaking.
heartbreaking. So I give her a pass on anything she's ever done wrong in her life, because if you have to go through that, my gosh, that has to affect your psyche in some ways. It just has to. But being from Texas, I mean, do you think Texans have embraced the Bush family?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It was, I was going to say, the American flag, of course, was half-mast, but so was the Texas flag.
Oh, wow.
And even people on private property that don't have an American flag but will fly a Texas flag, the flags were half-mast.
Yeah.
I thought there was my daughter-in-law, she's from up north, and she says she's never seen a state flag flown so prevalently as when she came to Texas. But yeah,
Yeah. Of course, sometimes that's not the only one they fly, but
it's not. But I didn't see any Confederate flags or at all. So
Wow.
they weren't half-mast or anything. They weren't even flying that I saw.
Yeah.
Actually, see more here than in Jasper.
Yeah. Lately, yeah, it seems that way. But so 73 years married to George H.W. Bush.
Yeah.
73 years. That's quite the love story in itself. I mean, and he wrote her letters all the time, stemming from his, beginnings when he was away in the war. And then on every anniversary, obviously, he would write her a beautiful, just,
Yeah.
I think Jeb was trying to read one of them during the service, and the camera panned to 41, and, that choked him up. He was pretty well, I don't even know if he's cognizant of a lot of things, probably, but at that point, I could tell he knew what was happening and what was going on because it choked him up. And just a beautiful storyteller and letter writer. And so 73 years, that's amazing.
Yes, it is.
It's amazing. Of course, we don't want to shy away from his recent butt grabbing of people, but
Okay, I hadn't heard about that.
he's in a wheelchair, and so I got to thinking, that's where his hands are naturally,
Well, sure.
so, but maybe he was a butt grabber before, I don't know, but obviously, I don't know. If you don't know, you probably shouldn't say,
Maybe.
right? Right, Diana? I mean, did you respect, or not respect, but what about Barbara Bush? I mean, is she up your alley?
I found
or-
her to be an honorable woman. Excuse me,
That's
please.
good.
I didn't always agree with her husband in his policies in the White House, but
Sure.
Barbara was her own person,
Yes.
and that I just have to respect. She was not a. She was not a vase on the table. She was not a doorstop. She was her own woman, and that means a lot to me.
Yes. Yes. And they say she was actually, like the glue that held everything together.
That's what I heard.
And, most mothers and wives, take that role on to make sure the family stays cohesive. And, it's a natural instinct within us to want the brood to, stay close and whatever. But yeah, she didn't mind saying, I like that about her. And she was so committed to her charities, their charities. And they say after they left the White House, they gave over like $1 billion to all of their philanthropic, endeavors. And that's good. That is good. I admire that. So anyway, but when somebody dies or somebody whatever, people are just gonna be mean and ugly. They don't care if they died or not, or the family's in mourning. They'll come out and just be ugly. So
That's sad.
yeah, it is. It is sad, but you.
I mean, in some cases, I can almost see it, but this was not such a case.
Right. No, it wasn't. It wasn't. It surely wasn't. And this sounds sort of backwards from where I think women and men should be as far as, people complain about Trump being ugly to people on Twitter. And he is. Even, I support him. But I'm going somewhere with this. But he is. And he will dog a woman, just as much as, he's an equal opportunity Twitter insulter. Insulter. He doesn't just because you're a woman. He won't hold back. And so I guess if that could be good, I don't know. But
Sorry about that. I dropped out a little bit there. I hit the wrong button.
yeah, I was. Yeah, there you are. As long as we have you back, that's fine. But this one guy, Roger Stone, who was a acquaintance, friend, whatever, with Donald Trump, and he made all these statements about she was a nasty drunk, and if she was cremated, her body would burn for 3 days.
Oh, that's horrible.
Yeah, I thought it was horrible. And this is going to sound like I'm taking the whole women's movement backwards, but, for a man to say that about an older woman that just passed away, it's not very classy.
It's not. I
It
can't even imagine what his motivation would be for that.
Right.
You just want to advertise that you're an asshole. I don't know.
true.
At least you said it, not I.
Right. You were thinking it.
I don't
But
understand that.
Very loudly.
I think he said that she had said some nasty things about him. Oh, that's sad.
That's so sad.
That's so sad.
I was going to wait till after she dies to say
Right,
something nasty
exactly.
back.
Yeah, I guess he knew that he had to wait till after she died because she'd probably get him again if she was still alive. Good for her. Oh, that's the kind of thing about the turn the other cheek, just, I don't know. We all need a lesson in that, my point of view. But I brought up in the last show about Melania having 2 of the resident staffers come with her to Texas, and these 2 gentlemen were butlers for the Bushes way back, and she brought them with her so they could have a chance to pay their respects because they were close to the Bush family.
Oh, that's nice.
And I thought, wow, that's a cool thing to do. It really is, Melania, really is. So
I do respect her for that.
I do. I really do.
I think that Melania has some degree of honor going on. I don't know that everyone always sees it, but
Yeah,
there is someone inside there, I think.
I think so. She's, the outside veneer, it seems a little cold and shut in. What do you think, Kimberly?
I don't really know a whole lot about
Yeah.
her, but I mean, she gives off the appearance of being aloof.
Yeah.
But like I said, I really honestly don't know a whole lot about her.
Right. Yeah. Me neither. But when I heard this, and
But that was really kind.
that was something. That was something. And then, of course, who was it? It was People Magazine said, "Oh, she really gave Barack Obama a big smile. She was just so happy to get away from the monster in the White House."
Good Lord.
Like, I know, just just making up.
Yeah, just
Yeah, I saw a
whatever sounds
retweet
bad.
of that picture, and it was okay.
Yeah, I don't think it was a huge smile for her. She's not from the pictures I've seen, just exuberantly smiling all the time, and maybe it has something to do with being a model. I don't know. I certainly wouldn't know about that. So
Well, remember, too, she's Eastern European. I'm
True.
trying to remember
Yeah.
where she's from.
Slovenia.
Is it Slovenia? Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
And the demeanor is a bit different to that of Americans. And I don't know that a lot of people quite understand that. I know that there were a lot of people that were saying, hey, what's going on here when Melania brought a gift
Yes.
for the Obamas?
Yes.
What's this? That's tradition. That what you always have something for those who have invited you, or those you have invited. So I saw that immediately, having grown up in an Eastern European household.
Gotcha.
So yeah,
Yeah, that was just standard procedure, I guess, for her to do that. Yeah, there's a lot made over that. Do you remember that? When you didn't? Okay.
Sorry.
That's
no,
all right.
There's a reason I don't have news on in my house.
Good for you. Good for you. But
well, I haven't owned a television in I think 9 years, so I'm with you there.
wow. So you don't even have a clue what's going on SVU?
Well, I have the Washington Post. I have Reuters. Local news I can get over the internet.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
Gotcha.
my thing with the television was when my ex left, she would be the one to watch or listen to television a lot. We didn't watch; it was going in the background while we did other things. And then when I was alone, I found out that I wasn't turning it on. And why do I have the subscription to cable? Why do I even have the television? Just cancel the cable subscription and put the television in the back room, and I had more room for other things.
Yeah.
I mean, I can get baseball over the
Yeah.
internet, so I'm fine.
Yeah. Absolutely. Well, speaking of SVU Law and Order, everyone knows that Mariska Hargitay is an advocate for having rape kits, to be processed in a timely manner. She actually did a documentary for HBO that aired I was in Disney, but I recorded it, and then I had a chance to watch it late one night, and since I've been back, and it's staggering, Kimberly, to know that first she went to Detroit, and there's tens of thousands of these rape kits
They've never been processed?
never been processed.
Oh, that's awful.
Never.
How long are they viable?
And, well, that's the thing. If I were a defense attorney, that'd be my first thing, bone of contention. How do we know this hasn't been degraded? How do we know, blah, blah, blah. But they showed the building. To answer your question, I don't really know. I guess it does last a long time, but how long, I don't know, and under what conditions. But they showed the building from the front, and it's an old, dilapidated building. They didn't even know, the people working in the prosecutor's office didn't even know this building existed. It was an annex. So they just thought what they had in their property room was all there was until,
Oh my gosh.
yeah. And so it showed the building, looked like an old school building of sorts. And then when they showed the back of it, either it was crumbling or they're in the process of tearing it down, and it just showed, windows busted out, birds making nests in there. The back half was obliterated, and these are women's lives. This is their DNA along with a perpetrator's DNA. And that's what it takes. And it showed that this one guy from Los Angeles to Ohio, he raped 3 women. And once they did the rape kits, and some was 10 years later. So I know you can get viable DNA that far
At least
along.
10 years later, yeah.
So they actually caught this son of a gun. He was a serial offender. And they found out by, delving into this situation and finding these rape kits.
That's what I was
and
going to ask. How many
hitting.
matches did they end up with after they went through them all? Or did they even...
Oh, no, they
Or
haven't.
did they start
Yeah,
going through them all?
they've just scratched the surface. I mean, and it's not just, you would think, well, maybe, the city of Los Angeles, they're running out of money, or Detroit, they have other things to take care of, or Cleveland, Ohio, but it's all across this nation. It's not a one city problem. Every city has a backlog of these rape kits. And they're trying to say, well, why didn't they test them? Why don't you get a rape kit and then all of a sudden you send it immediately? Well, they say it's expensive to do that. A lot of the reports, you wouldn't believe what the investigators wrote down about these women when they came in with their stories. It would be, one of them was, this heifer acted like, she wasn't raped, and I have a hard time finding her credible, and just so many, just this,
That's not their job.
right,
That's up to a jury to decide whether she's credible or not. Not
that's right.
That's crazy.
And it was like so much judgment in there, she was wearing this and that, or she didn't cry, she seemed like everything was fine.
Oh, good Lord! Unless he's got a psychology degree along with his
Right, everyone reacts differently to
Absolutely.
trauma.
Stress. Yeah, that's insane.
Can you believe this? And it just makes you want to not turn the other cheek and just get your hands around some of these people's throats. I mean, Diana, can you imagine?
Where do we stand in society?
Right.
That people would just flippantly say, she appeared that she wasn't complaining, or that she appeared that she wanted it, or something like that.
Right.
We're talking about people here, guys. Women are people too.
Yes.
We deserve as much respect as any man.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And this type of a crime is so horrific that us three here, we would all probably have different reactions, And then it would show clips of, and another problem is, even once they process the rape kit, then you have to find somebody to investigate. Some of these towns only have 2 investigators for rape kits like this, or this type of crime. And so, and
That's a
then
big city for only 2 investigators.
I know,
That's crazy.
I know.
You're talking about Detroit and Los Angeles. That's
Yeah,
insane.
Cleveland, Ohio. Now some have, the resources of, 30 people that can help. But the number one thing is to get funds to help process these kits, because you can keep, these serial rapists off the street. I mean, it's already a proven fact. And the sad part was it would show how many rape kits, and say at one town, 10,995. Then it showed how many matches in CODIS, the DNA database, and it would show, or how many have been matched up from that. It would show like 300. And then the conviction would be 6. It's just, it seems like a never-ending, quagmire of just red tape and problems. And then it showed people in a courtroom. A woman was giving her testimony. She had been raped, and the defense attorney, his questions all were pinpointed toward, well, when he came towards you, what did you do? And she said, I just stood there. He said, oh, so you just stood there? And she said, yes. And then, well, what were you wearing? I was wearing my uniform. Well, what did that consist of? Pants and a top. Well, what kind of top? Was it a button top or a zippered top? How many buttons did you have undone? I mean, it was
what the heck
horrible.
does that even matter?
Right. I
Why
don't
was that
care if
questioning
you're walking
allowed?
down the street stark naked. This a
Absolutely.
violation
Right.
of a person is uncalled for in any case.
Exactly
I don't
right.
understand why that questioning is even allowed. What was the judge doing?
The judge was, I think he was chewing bubble gum, and he looked like he was bored as crap, just looking around like this. Now, I'm judging just his,
Well, the fact that he would allow that questioning is a problem.
right. He was just,
Well, unfortunately, that sort of question is standard procedure in a lot of courtrooms, and that's got to change. That's got to change fast.
right. And what do you do? What have you done? I mean, did you have a boyfriend at the time? Did you, what? Oh, it's so exasperating. But I know if everyone could go and watch this documentary, it's called I Am Evidence, and Mariska Hargitay, she is the one that co-produced it, along with some really wonderful women. The Detroit prosecutor. Her name is Kim Worthy, very strong woman. She's going to tackle this, and it just showed like evidence room after evidence room, and just stacked up with rape kits. And they say that they don't even have protocol that says, you can't throw them away after so many years or whatever. They can do whatever they want to with them. They can ignore them. They can throw them away.
Wow.
And so something has to be done about this. And I want, every woman that watches this and every man, because it's not, just a woman's problem, because a man can be sexually assaulted as well. A man has a
Oh, yeah.
wife and daughter and granddaughters and, sisters, and something has to be done. So if you ever want to take on a good cause, this would be definitely one of them. Absolutely. Just, it makes you so mad when you watch it. It just,
Yeah, I may have to watch it in stages.
yeah, you would. You'd have to watch it in stages because you just get so ticked off. Absolutely ticked off. Well, they're telling me we only have like 1 minute left. Is that true?
Right.
Okay.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah. Can you believe it? Just 1 minute. That's of our show. For our women's show here. We have 1 minute left. So
We need equal time.
we need equal time. Yeah. This goes along with the boobs, I guess. Just messing. I'm just joking. Not really. But we do love your shirt. Schrodinger's cat is dead. On the back it says Schrodinger's cat is not dead.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, really
Very
cool
nice.
shirt. Really cool shirt. All right,
I've
well,
had it for a while, and I love this shirt.
I do too. And we told her that our dog's name is Schrodinger, and after the infamous scientist, or infamous. All right, well, that is it for reflections. And next, we're going to have a in-house thing, and I believe Diana sticks around for that. If you
Absolutely.
absolutely,
Love
okay, that sounds great. Well, welcome back, Kimberly.
Glad to be back.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you back. Absolutely. And we will see you people next week. Don't forget, I Am Evidence. Check it out and get mad. Sometimes it takes getting mad to get something done.
Absolutely.
So get mad. My permission to do it. All right. We'll see you next week.
Take care, everybody.
All righty.